Back on Behind the Book, brought to you by the Play MGM app, Gill Alexander, and the star of the show, Jay Rood, Vice President, Race and Sports, MGM Resorts International. Jay, 4 days before the Super Bowl, Super Bowl 52, as we sit here at the Aria Sportsbook, my favorite sportsbook in town.
Yes.
Soon we will have Jeff Hoos on, the manager here at the Race and Sportsbook.
Right, who does a fantastic job. Yep, it's got a great crew here.
Well-dressed, well-spoken.
Yes,
as the
very
kids
tall.
like to say. Yes. He's going to try to show us up. We'll get to him momentarily. But let's get into this game. Patriots minus 4.5. Your money line right now on the Patriots minus 185. Betting behavior of the Super Bowl dictates, not dictates, but it has just been the case the last 20, 25 years, no one quite knows why, that when the betting public bets the Super Bowl dog, it's very different than their behavior betting the dog in any regular season games. During the regular season, more inclined to take the points. Super Bowl, they want to bet the money line, creates artificial value on the money line favorite. You expect to see that here again?
Yeah, we do. I mean, we kind of already seen that. I mean, we opened minus 220. We're down to 185, which is probably at least 15 cents off probably what the market price should be at 4.5, 5. But I do think that there is a possibility that we see this go back up closer to 5.5 than 4. So, but that has no bearing whatsoever on the possibility that the money line could still come down a little bit, because the liability that you start to rack up on the money line will make a few places in town very nervous.
I see.
We might not be one of them, but a few places might not like the liability that they're going to get on the Eagles. At plus $1.80, almost 2 to 1 you're getting now. This is a pretty sizable money line. Normally, if it's a 2-3 point favorite, you're racking up 6 to 5 or plus $1.30. It's not too bad, but when you're racking up 2 to 1 on all those bets, it can get significant liability quickly.
Real quick, for those who haven't followed it, where did this line start, and where is it now, and why is it there?
Yeah, we opened 5.5 in like the third quarter of the NFC game. We were getting pretty good two-way action for the first day or two, and then we took a monster bet on Wednesday, and we adjusted the price on both sides. We jumped down to 4.5, and we dropped our money line from $2.20 to $2, and then we adjusted that even further down. But on top of that money, the market's been saturated with Eagle money here in Vegas for the last 5-6 days. So getting that money back and fading our liability has been a little bit of a challenge. And
by monster bet, Jay means a multi-million-dollar bet. You expect many more six-figure and above bets to come as the game approaches.
Absolutely. I mean, we did, I think, somewhere in the neighborhood of 17 six figures or more last year on Saturday before the Super Bowl, and I kind of expect that similar behavior this year as well.
That doesn't make you nervous that close to game time?
No, I mean, we know that 36 hours before kickoff is when you're going to write all your business.
Okay, and we
when
don't have
the planes start landing.
When the planes start landing, everybody from out of town. The only big news to be broken, or still to be broken, I should say. Will Rob Gronkowski play? It's kind of a poorly kept secret. Everybody expects him to play. Is that the point where the Patriots' money starts flowing in? I
think, yeah. Once we get a definitive answer, more so than Gronk saying yes, I'm going to play. I think that solidifies the downside. Whether it really drives it up, I don't know. But I think that solidifies that we will stay at 4.5 at least, with the potential for it to go higher.
All of it's really speculation in the end. We can only guess where we think this is going, an educated guess, but we'll see what the market dictates right now as we do this from the Aria Sportsbook. Again, 4 days before kickoff, Patriots at minus 4.5, money line on the Pats at minus 185, and the total at 48. Back on Behind the Book from the Aria Sportsbook in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. Gill Alexander from VSiN, Jay Rood from MGM, the Vice President of Race and Sports. Jay, 1985, actually January of '86, William the Refrigerator Perry was playing for the Chicago Bears, and someone got it in their heads to put out a proposition wager here. Will the Fridge score a touchdown? It was initially at 40 to 1. Fridge scored. Some people cashed big time, and a whole new field of bets was born. And now, prop wagers is huge. What's the total percentage in your handle pie, if you will, of props versus the big three?
Typically, props probably are handling in the neighborhood of 40% for us right now. Maybe 35 if we see a really large bet come in and sort of skew the straight money. But yeah, between 35 and 40%, and it's growing every year. I mean, who knows? This might be the year that we get closer to 50-50.
Yeah.
And it's really from a bookmaker's perspective, it can be a little bit of a diffuser. Like if we lose the game, hopefully we do well to the props. But a lot of times, as we're going to talk here in a few minutes, that's not always the case, because if the game goes a certain way, a lot of times people bet the props a certain way, and they can go hand in hand, the results.
Right.
Generally, there's a few that'll maybe save our day a little bit, and we might be able to, if we have a bad result on the game, still pull back a little bit of money. And, because obviously are you going to deal blackjack out of a one deck? You're going to have a much tougher go against a guy that's really good.
Right.
Or are you going to do a 6-deck shoe? The more decisions you can get out there, from my perspective, the better off you are.
What Jay is referring to with props, there should be some correlation between your game handicap and the props that you bet, generally speaking, with exception. But for instance, if you think the New England Patriots are going to blow out the Eagles, you wouldn't go under on Brady yards passing and Gronkowski yards receiving, for instance. But let's talk about some of the more interesting props. What are some of your more creative ones that you like here at MGM?
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously with the Knights being in town this year, we tried to tie a few props to their game that's going to happen on Sunday morning with the Capitals. We tied one particular prop. How many penalty minutes will occur in that game versus how many accepted penalties will occur in the Super Bowl? The penalty minutes is -2.5.
Yep.
And I think you're taking maybe like even money or plus $1.40 on that side, up to $1.40. And that's gotten a lot of attention, albeit we had a little bit of a misprice on it, but that might be why it got some attention. But that's a cool prop. And then we've got a few others that, VGK or whoever scores first, whoever wins the game, tied to who wins the Super Bowl. Big index on that. So there's a lot of fun ones. I mean, if you can't find a prop here to sort of cheer on besides what's going on the main game, then you're very picky.
You said the magic word, though, mispricing. That's to let folks know that this is not some sophisticated algorithm making these props. These are actual human beings who make errors making some of these prices. Let me ask you about your most popular one. Who's going to score the first touchdown in the game? And right now, I see that Rob Gronkowski is at 5-1. Are you getting any action on that pre-announcement on him?
Very little. I mean, what we are getting is what people last saw, right? And
Right.
They last saw Danny Amendola hooking up with Tom Brady and sort of winning that game. So we're getting a lot of Danny Amendola right now at 12-1. Hopefully we're down to 10-1 on it. I don't know, I haven't checked lately. But he's drawn a lot of tickets, and a lot of LeGarrette Blount for the Eagles to score the first touchdown. As soon as Gronk's status is solidified, we're going to see the tickets come in on him.
Eagles do
very
a lot,
strong.
Eagles do a lot of things exceptionally on defense. The one or two things that they don't do exceptionally well: cover opposing tight ends, Gronk; cover opposing slot receivers, Amendola. Might be some food for thought there. Finally, the one thing that I want to point out, for folks who want to bet this a creative way, your New England money line right now at -185. We've already said on this show that's probably going to come down. We're pretty sure that's going to come down. You have Tom Brady MVP at -180. There are seasons where betting the MVP is a smarter way to go than betting the team on the money line. So if Brady's -180 currently as MVP is lower than the Pats money line, Brady's the smarter play, because you figure if they win, he's more than likely the MVP.
More than likely the MVP, unless something drastic happens, like a big run back or a big interception for a pick six or something like that. He's going to hit the MVP number, yeah.
Yeah.
So if I price it at $1.70, you'd be interested?
No, because I think the Patriots are going to get below -170.
Okay.
How about that?
You got to
see.
stick to your guns.
I will stick to them. Props, a huge part of Super Bowl betting, and really perhaps the most fun part. A lot of props to choose from, almost 400 of them here at MGM. Back on Behind the Book from the Aria Sportsbook, my single favorite sportsbook in town, Jay. Don't be offended.
Can't blame you.
Oh, okay. I'm glad. It's like a living room here. It's
Yes.
beautiful. Talk to Jeff Hoos momentarily from the Twitterverse. Ask the Pro. You ready?
Let's go.
This is a very straightforward one. Walk us through Super Bowl week to Sunday. In other words, what do you do as the Vice President of Race and Sports at MGM from here until kickoff?
I mean, besides attend a bunch of meetings?
Yes.
Yeah. This week is a lot of people are interested in what's going on, what kind of bets we're taking. So I do a lot of media requests. Do some radio, which I got a face for radio generally. So I do a lot of radio. I do some TV, a lot of printed stuff. So a lot of media requests. But we're also finalizing the props that we're doing. We get that done generally like Monday or Tuesday of game week. And we're working on what's next. Most of the time. You're always working on what the next thing is. Masters. We're thinking about what we're going to do for Masters, how we're going to expand our menu for that. We're thinking about the March Madness that's coming up here really soon. So we're getting an idea of that. But come Sunday morning, I walk in. Generally, it's the calm before the storm. It's like looking out on a lake and it's just glass. And then about 8:30, the crowds start getting in. Drink tickets start getting spent. Bloody Marys are getting drunk. Starts getting rowdy out front. That's when it starts getting fun. It's good times. And we're, at that point on Sunday, my position has pretty much died and cast already. I'm done. All I'm trying to do is maybe massage a little bit here and there, but I don't move the total much. I don't move the game much. We're just sitting there waiting for the game to kick off at that point.
It's a good life, Jay.
It's not bad. And I probably eat a little bit in between. Bring in some cake or something like that.
You think you're going to need one side or the other ultimately?
Oh yeah, we're going to need the classic bookmaker's dream.
Patriots.
We're going to need Patriots to win, but don't cover.
Wow. All right, we'll see if that happens. Right now, again, Patriots 4.5-point favorites. A life of Jay Rood, ladies and gentlemen, from now till Super Bowl kickoff. That's how he rolls.
You too can be gray.
Like Jay Rood. Back on Behind the Book from the Aria Sportsbook here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Gill Alexander along with Jay Rood. And Jay, we have a guest, one of your henchmen.
Yes, henchmen. I like that. He takes care of the dirty work here at the Aria. So
I was going to let you introduce
Don't get nasty.
Jeff Hoos, the manager here at the Aria Race and Sportsbook. Friend of mine. Jeff, thanks for being on the show.
Hey, great to be back.
My favorite sportsbook in town. I love the living room atmosphere. And for those who have spent any time at the Aria, you know that there's someone who gets on the mic, kind of a slow, jammy voice, telling people when to bet things. That is the great Jeff Hoos with his voice.
Yeah, you heard me get booed a couple weeks ago because I lost track of what was going on.
Yes, that was awesome.
Court awareness wasn't quite there.
Yeah, it was like the biggest play of the Atlanta-Philadelphia playoff game. What would you say to people, though, if they're coming into town for the Super Bowl, why come and watch this at the Aria?
Well, there's nowhere in the world to be like Vegas on Super Bowl Sunday. I mean, if you could be at the game, great, but why would you want to be at the game? We're in Vegas, they're in Minneapolis. You could be here in Vegas. This guy put together 13 pages of props. There's 585 different ways to bet this game.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
585 ways, 13 pages. You can go through the whole thing. You can bet on, you can mix it with a hockey game. You guys went over this already?
We did.
I'm late.
We did,
to the show.
It's fun. You can repeat it.
Yeah, I love that Knights score first, Knights win, Eagles prop. I mean,
make yourself comfortable, Jeff.
Yeah, I mean, I do work here. I spend a lot of time here. I should be comfortable.
Yeah.
But the amount of ways you can bet on a game are unlike anything you're going to find anywhere else. Also, the energy.
Yes.
It's like nowhere else. You've got so many people in this room. It's quiet and relaxed. You talk about it being a living room, a lounge-like feel. You're going to cram 300, 400 people into this room. It is going to be electric.
It is going to be electric, and I always say it. This is laid out here at the Aria specifically like no other place. It really does. I joke about it being my living room, but it really does feel like a living room atmosphere. And so it's unlike any other ones that might be more antiseptic, let's say. It's a different vibe here for sure.
It's like when you go to the vet nowadays, and you have a dog door and you have a cat door. I mean, this is sort of like that. We've got our horse players over there. We've got our sports players over here. We try not to overlap them too much because they definitely have different reasons while they're in the room. Mm-hmm. Some of them are brackish and they're here for both, but most of them, have their own separate interests, so we kind of keep it that way.
A fine
Cat
analogy.
door over there, dog door over here.
That's right. That's why they pay him the big bucks.
Indeed.
Good guy to work for?
Great guy to work for.
Yep.
Had a lot of opportunities throughout the years. I've been able to work at 4 of these properties. This has been the nicest one.
Any other big events here that
East
folks ought
Coast
to know
might
about?
be in the future too.
Oh.
Jurisdictional expansion candidate right here.
Okay.
We'll see where that goes. SCOTUS.
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 Hashtag SCOTUS. So big event here, obviously, with Super Bowl 52. All up and down MGM Resorts International properties. The Aria is but one choice of 10 different sportsbook. Jeff just happens to man the ship here at the Aria.
And they'll all be similar to what's going on. You're gonna have a party here, I'm imagining. You're gonna be managing a lot of the VIP people.
Yes, they have a event for some select VIPs, and they have myself and my crew go down and set up a remote sports book outside of this event. We set up 8 more windows. It's like we've doubled up our capabilities, but just for one day. And
it's a pretty big day.
It's a very big day. And the thing that blows me away about this place, the production values on these major events.
Yes.
It's unlike anything. It's the greatest party you've ever seen.
Well, here's the thing. If you want to avoid betting lines, because I know you're all about making bets, the way around that, of course, is to get the Play MGM app. It takes no time to do this. Really, it's about a 30-second to 2-minute process.
5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. You get the idea. I was exaggerating. But it's a very quick process. You can avoid the lines, bet at your leisure, at a restaurant, in your hotel room, wherever you want to, and all kinds of futures available on the MGM
Lots
app
of good
as well.
futures coming up too.
You'd like for them to bet every single future.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the Winter Olympics coming up. You can bet who's going to win, which country's going to win the most gold medals. You can bet on men's and women's hockey, who's going to win the gold medal for that.
Bettable for the first time ever in Nevada.
Yeah, well, no, we had summers up, but this is probably going to be the first real big winter games that we've had in quite a while. But yeah, and like you said, we're going to have the Masters, and then again, production value. March Madness coming up, which from a staff standpoint, March Madness is probably the most exhausting 4 days that we put in a race and sports book.
If the Super Bowl is the one single event with the biggest handle, March Madness as a series of days, the only thing that rivals that. Madness surpasses it as a group of games.
It's America's bachelor party.
It is that. This is our final Behind the Book show of the season. We appreciate you watching each and every week to much fanfare. We have enjoyed it. We'll be back in 4 weeks to resume with March Madness. And everybody who made this happen behind the camera here, behind the book, Dave, Matt, Ian, Andrew, Robert, AJ, Stephanie, Ben, Deborah Song for styling us.
Yeah. Aria's Men's Shop.
Aria Men's Shop, BJ Batterman for the makeup, Etienne. We appreciate it to everybody behind the scenes.
The Jedi Council. The
Jedi Council as well. I have no idea what that means, but yes, the Jedi Council behind. For Jay Rood, the star of this show, Vice President of Race and Sports here at MGM Resorts International, Jeff Hoos from the Aria, the Race and Sportsbook Manager here, Gill Alexander from the Vegas Stats and Information Network. Good luck with all your Super Bowl bets, whatever they may be. Thank you for watching Behind the Book, brought to you by the Play MGM app.